I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. And today, let's take a break from politics and talk about something that isn't so divisive. Pedophiles. We can all agree that it's wrong, evil, and if you participate in it, you should be drugged behind a truck doing 80 miles per hour on a cross-country trip. Now, I'm going to talk about a comic that was outed this weekend for grooming underage girls. Now, being a fellow comedian, a lot of you are thinking, dude, there should be a thin clown line. But for somebody that talks, slams, rants, and bitches about cops hiding behind their badges and not being honest about killing or crimes they committed, I really can't do the same thing, can I? You know, we all need to call out the evil. That's how you stop evil. Now, here's the deal. Chris D'Elia, comedian with 3 or 4 Netflix specials, has been hitting on and trolling underage girls for years, asking them to make out, flying them to Los Angeles, etc. Now, over the weekend, 5 of them came out and told their stories. In response, a few other comedians wrote statements, and Chris was dropped by his management and his agencies, which for Hollywood is kind of weird. I mean, to see how fast they did the right thing, yeah, this is the same place that overlooked Weinstein and Cosby for decades and ignored reports of billion-dollar directors with underage boys. Now, my instinct is to not talk about this because A, Chris is a fellow comedian. B, his reps and friends are powerful. But I can't. That would make me complicit and a hypocrite. Actually, a creepy, complicit hypocrite. The weirdest part about all of this is pedophiles and rapists are really having their time in the spotlight, aren't they? I mean, some of you guys voted for one. It has been reported and court cases filed against the president for raping underage girls. And this case right here was dropped 16 days before the election. There's a Netflix series about Jeffrey Epstein, a dude with no real reason to be rich. The reality show depicts a 50-year-old man that had a team of people recruiting underage girls. According to the series, some recruited from Mar-a-Lago. I guess they were just trolling with Barbie dream houses. Oh yeah, and I'm sure the president has absolutely no connection. Yet some of you are sure Hillary Clinton ran a pedophile ring from a pizza parlor basement. A pizza parlor without a goddamn basement! Do you get that in the last 3 years, we've got okay with raping and pedophilia? It's like Cosby and Subway Jared died for the rest of these scumbag sins. And I am not happy that I had to have a when a guy tries to rape you talk with my 18-year-old daughter. Not an if a guy tries to rape you talk, a when a guy tries to rape you talk. We have gotten to the point in this country where it's just part of it. We think raping girls under 18, recruiting kids for sex, or a series that we calmly watch where a pedophile buddy of the president is just another night of television. It's dark times, people, but there is hope. In the last few months, we have attacked racism and police brutality. The Me Too movement has taken down some of the big and powerful, but it has taken decades of overlooking it to get here. But here's how I feel and what I stand for. If you are a racist, if you are a pedophile, if you are a rapist, or if you are a racist, rapist, pedophile, I would like to help. Due to your damage and the damage you cause other people by your psychotic scumbag behavior, I am modifying my stance on what to do about this problem. I used to think that prison or therapy, might be the answer. But prison costs us tax money, and then you still have these predators roaming the earth. So can we all just agree that pedophiles, rapists, and pedophile rapists bring nothing, give nothing, and do nothing to make us better as a species? So I am proposing turning them into fertilizer. Listen, hey, we in California grow a third of the country's fruits and vegetables. We need the help. So it's a 2-for-1. We get to get rid of all the pedophiles and rapists, hopefully in a violent, torturous way, and then use their remains to feed the world. Keep shining a light on these a-holes. And then after this is enacted, next time you get a beautiful apple or a delicious salad, know that your neighborhood is a little safer, and your kids and your daughter have not been destroyed for life. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Ha ha! Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. How are you guys feeling? We were off last week. We are back now, and guess what? Everything calmed down and nothing happened. I wish. With me as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
There could be only one.
There can be only one. We were just talking before that the Armageddon Update's definitely going to get flagged.
Oh, yeah.
There's not going to be any ads placed on it.
No, we are getting demonetized for sure. Our entire say goodbye to our YouTube channel, everybody.
In many ways.
So a lot of people would say that, dude, you're not, why wouldn't you just write something that you get past censorship? Because it's like, when you talk about pedophiles and rapists, it's like, how am I going to go around?
It has to be said.
I guess I could go around it, these guys are, hitting on young girls. It just...
We need like code words for like different things.
Yeah.
You can't talk about, what's the new word for pedophile?
Hey, by the way, don't eat new cheesecake. Like, what do we do? Like, what? Like, it's just going to be weird. And why has it got to be cheesecake? Why can't it be something else?
Yeah, Project Adventure. What's good code words for these
Project Adventure.
flagged video?
Code words instead of
for
saying pedophile.
Rape, yeah, pedophile.
And COVID. Like, if you mention COVID, that's one of the controversial
chicken
topics.
nuggets.
You guys couldn't, chicken nuggets. Oh, chicken.
They enjoy chicken nuggets.
Yeah, these good boys and these. Yeah. By the way, you shouldn't be eating chicken nuggets. If you're a grown ass man, don't be going after chicken nuggets.
Because they're baby chicks, and we don't want that.
Right.
What else? What else you got?
Rapists.
That's a little harder. That would be
non-social distancing.
Venus flytrap. I'm going with that.
No. What?
No.
Yeah. Non-social distancing.
I'm just saying Venus flytraps. Have you ever seen one of those? Yeah. Super aggressive. Don't respect boundaries.
No, they do not.
And put their mouths on everything that gets too close to them.
Oh. So I had to talk about it. D'Elia came out with a statement just to give him credit, and he said that it was the weirdest statement I've ever seen. It was I never knowingly, like, there's a lot of words like knowingly. There's these vague kind of like, well, I never did it, and if I did, it's because my lifestyle got out of hand.
All code words.
Yeah, it was a kind of code
for I did it.
It was definitely it was almost like it had too much lawyer filter. It was like a HEPA lawyer filter where no bit of truth got through the filter.
Right.
And the thing is, I hope he gets some help. Honestly, I really hope that if that, but I don't understand. I have never had that need. I've never looked at a kid and went, yeah, because if you're 15, 16, or 17, you're still a kid.
Agreed. Yeah. Everyone's saying underage women. And I'm like, no, those are kids.
It's a child.
Yes.
It's a child. It's not an underage woman because she's 18. Even that's a kid. I have an 18-year-old kid, and that's a kid still.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when we make all of our, well, not all of them, but a big majority of our mistakes is because we are idiots at that time. Our brains aren't fully formed. Also, like it or not, women, we certainly come up in a world that values us less for what we have to say and our thoughts and our brains and our education. And
brains.
Exactly. And
nice frontal lobes. All right.
It's just not it's not the go-to when a woman walks down the street that every guy is like, I bet she passed physics.
Yeah, you never hear this. Woo! That girl could do some calculus.
Yes, exactly.
Woo! Look at the spelling on that hoe.
She's got some hot test grades.
Yo, I bet your SATs kick ass, girl.
Never happened.
Nope.
Show me your homework.
Actually, though, it did happen to me one time, and it was when I met you. And
what?
yeah,
Do
and
tell.
it was the first time that I used to run 6 to 7 comedy clubs, depending on how many my partner was running into the ground.
So just to be clear,
Yeah.
D'Elia would be the only comic that's ever had scummy behavior, right?
I could bury some comedians.
You lived there for 6 years, right?
Could bury, from 2001 until 2007. Yeah.
Yep.
And with all 6 clubs.
So you met me.
All over you want to go back to you? All over the country. You meet a lot of different comedians, some that at that time weren't famous and have since become extremely famous, and some that were already famous. A lot of different fetishes and drug addictions. A lot of married dudes banging the waitresses and bartenders, and the whole thing that is affronting about that is that if you are a cool woman, cool chick, then it is an unspoken requirement that you shut your mouth about it.
You overlook it. You're part of the team.
Absolutely. And so then when they bring their wives, because it's New Year's week and you've seen them sleep with 72 different chicks,
over the last 4 years of booking.
It's unspoken that you shut your mouth. You don't ever stand up for the woman in that situation. And, honestly, a lot of things for me, I was the youngest manager coming up in that comedy club chain. I was 24 when I started.
And the only 6 foot tall ex-diesel jean model smoking hot chick manager.
Thank you, dear. And there were things that, it was also unspoken that you sort of had to tolerate. As a woman in business, especially a young woman in business, although older women, that's when you begin to be devalued. So you have your whole other bullshit you have to deal with. But for me, there were things that I was expected to shut my mouth about or take certain joking. And, like even for me, I was in a business meeting with a lot of the corporate people, and my partner, who was angry at me because I had started dating you, because that was a whole other thing, right? Because now my focus was not there. It was, I was spending time with someone else. And so in the middle of that meeting, in front of staff and corporate people, he commented on my pussy.
Whoa.
Yeah, which I was expected to take. And at that point, I really had become clear that this was not something that I was going to take. And I got up and said a few things to him about...
In the meeting?
Mostly about the girth of his midsection and the small things that dangle beneath.
Because I would have got mad.
You did know, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But and then I was kind of made fun of for, God, what's wrong with you? You can't take a joke. You can't. But you notice that we're not all sitting there talking about their penises and it's a joke, right? So, today this has made me think about a lot of stuff.
Most penises are a joke. I think everybody's accepted that, right?
That.
Yeah, it's established. Yeah.
Except they commit a lot of crime.
They do. Well, they're evil.
They
have hoods.
The vagina.
They have hoods. Some of them.
The vagina to penis proportion of crime committing is
some of them are
really
white collar criminals as opposed to wearing the hoods. And a lot of them carry Skittles. Most of them.
They carry bags. They have bags.
Yeah, bags with Skittles.
Oh, nut bags.
So not to go back to it, just to make it less than. So you first of all, though, you're also, the great thing about you is that you're wicked smart. There's a lot of women that, and because society kind of builds it, as we talk about systemic racism, we can also talk about systemic misogyny.
100%.
There's a system.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to be overworked because I hate it because it goes too far at times. Like so this week, D'Elia got trolled. Then a couple other comics, I'm not going to say because there's no point bringing it up, got trolled. And I've done some research into it and found I called one of them last night to apologize because I retweeted something that was said about him. And then I got some background from it, and I called him out. I'm not going to say it because I don't want anybody to research it because I was wrong for what I did. And I talked to him about it last night. And then you've got like Jimmy Kimmel who gets raked over the coals for something he did 15 years ago on the Man Show. So here's the thing, right. Jimmy Kimmel, we have to say that we're not part of this cancel culture because I don't believe it. Listen, if you fucked a teenager or you raped somebody, us jumping you. It's not cancel culture.
Yeah,
you're a criminal.
Yeah,
right. Like we have to be clear that there's no delineation anymore.
You need to be disintegrated. That's like beyond.
Yeah,
exactly.
Not just
getting you're
fertilizer, right? Like I said.
Yeah.
So it's not cancel culture if you're a criminal. You're a criminal. We're calling out evil. Jimmy Kimmel did a bit where he plays Karl Malone. He's friends with Karl Malone, and he would always do Karl Malone say he liked Karl Malone. Karl Malone okay with Jimmy Kimmel doing an impression of Karl Malone because Karl Malone proved that impression of Karl Malone. Now, that clip used later could be me making fun of black people. No, he's making fun of Karl Malone, but he dressed up in blackface as Karl Malone, and he did it. It was on the Man Show. You got to remember, Chappelle was on the air at the time, so he was. I'm not saying that's an excuse, but I'm saying that it went through standards and practices. It got written. It went through everybody on the staff. It went through Comedy Central Current. It went through everything. And at one point, you have to go. He's getting totally reamed to the point where Jimmy Kimmel got so upset. He says, "I'm taking a vacation." Now later he apologized for it, and I guess, but.
So between
there's I'm just saying there's racism where someone actually hates black people, and then there's Jimmy Kimmel making fun of a buddy of his,
and they're not the same.
Who Karl Malone never had a complaint about this thing instead of funny. Now, do I think that when you take the thin thread and connect Jimmy Kimmel in blackface as Karl Malone, and you connect it through 400 years of racism?
Yeah.
I can totally see how some people would be just react to that.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's okay. Blackface may have been a choice, but
I think also though that was how many years ago?
see,
15,
by the way,
20
I'm
years
getting
ago?
scared right now about talking about
I know.
Jimmy Kimmel's not a bad guy. He's a great guy, and what he did 15 years ago should have nothing. 15 years ago, doing a bit on television that everybody saw. You don't get the double jeopardy, Jimmy Kimmel. You don't get to go, Jimmy Kimmel, 15 years ago. You remember that shit you did that we all laughed at? Now we're not laughing.
But also, as human beings, we grow. And I think I've said 1,000 times on here that if you go back to Rachel in her 20s, I would be, you would not like her. It was
can't
a
talk to young
100% different person, completely self-absorbed, completely offensive, living in that world where I thought that I had to be like a dude, very hard-edged, very drugged.
When I met you, you were kind of like that. Not drugs, but you had that real hard comedy though, stand up. You developed this callus because of being around stand up.
You had to. Like I said, young woman working in the comedy industry, comedians as women are not respected. Women working in comedy are not respected. I had to play a man's game to keep my job, basically. And I had to be hard edged like that. I can remember a female comedian who was a feature at the time. She's now writes for a major TV show and has had great success. At this time, I remember her working for me, and I loved her. Sweet lady. And she came to me and told me, because think about this, comics would stay in comedy condos. This one in particular was my former apartment, so I know that the doors didn't have locks on the bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and we would put them in the same condo with the dude comedian, and that created a massive problem across the road for women. And she came to me, she was upset because he had exposed himself to her. And then he told me it was just a joke. I was just being funny. And he then did it for the whole staff. He would say, this was his catchphrase. He would say, do you want to see my dragon tattoo? And everyone would go, oh yeah. And then he'd pull his pants down. It's just a joke. It's just a joke, right? And so she started...
Locker room talk. It's locker room talk. Right.
She was with Rich Super. No, not Rich Super. Dennis, what's his name's brother?
Rich Miller. And he started saying that if you wanted to book her, that she got a hotel room. Didn't have to be a great hotel room, Holiday Inn, whatever, but she would not room with any other comics because of what now I look back and see was sexual assault. Right. Yeah.
And so my male counterparts in that company said, well, we're not going to book her then.
There's some dudes that have this weird thing that they think vaginas are all access. And they're and you don't have a lanyard, fucker. Get away from her.
But to understand that then she didn't get work because people were going to have to pay an extra $300 for the weekend to put her in a hotel.
Raped. So she didn't get raped.
Yes. And I remember getting that call saying, we don't book her then. I mean, there were already so few female comedians then to book that were working that circuit. And so they were like, nah, let's screw her. I
find that sad. Although I just to be fair and not so, when I demanded it because comics are scumbags. I'd go to these condos and the bathtub was scuzzy. They weren't cleaning it. You could tell the sheets weren't changed. I'm like, I'm not staying here. And I've said it before. I told the club owner one time, he gave me shit about it. I'm like, then you stay with me this week. Come stay with me.
Right.
He's like, all right, I'll get you a hotel.
We always had one of the servers clean the condo.
Right. And it's always the most druggy one that needs the extra $20.
Yep.
So women go through this all the time, whereas black people live in, I was telling Ray this morning, we were talking about black people live in this thing when they get pulled over by the cops. There's literally a thought, I could get shot. I could be killed right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to do everything I need to do to not get shot. Women have the same thing walking down the street. Right. I need to do everything I can do to not get raped. And so if you're pretty, if you put nice clothes on, put heels on, all of a sudden, she wants it.
Oh, you're asking for it.
Yep.
I just find that insane. My dad. We talked about this too. My father was a dog. He had like 40 women show up at his funeral, and they were all friends, women he dated. And he had way many more that didn't. That I think some of them just wanted to make sure he was dead. The rest of them, though.
They went up and checked the pulse.
Some of them are like, all right, guys, we're good. No, but he was charming, and I learned from him. I wasn't going to treat women because once he got him, he was the other way. He never treated him like dirt when he met him. He treated him like queens.
He reversed it.
Flipped it and reversed it. He got him hooked, and then a year in, he was like, "You gained 3 pounds, you fat." But like he had that thing, but he knew how to be charming. And I learned that women, it's just women will do. If they love you, if you're charming and nice, that works. Being a dickhead doesn't work. But we have this new. Here's what's happened in the last few years. We went from this guy, our leader, and I never believed this. We went from this leader who was classy. He was competent. He was a great father. He was a great man, a great husband. And we had this country that we were kind of like we all got complacent.
Right.
That
we got kind of lulled into like, okay, things are going to we're going in the right direction. This is
how
great.
America. And then we get this dick face, and all of a sudden we've got these fucking porn stars. Yeah. So, and I didn't realize this. Doesn't everybody know that's wrong? Are you cheating on your wife with a porn star? But they don't. They're like, well, if the president's doing it, and there's this whole group of people now, bros. They make fun of all the time these bros who just think it's like, yeah, man, fucking bitches, man.
Oh yeah.
Fucking with them 8 to 80. Mm-hmm. I've decided that anybody who says 8 to 80 to me, they're gonna be surprised at how fast they get punched.
It's the whole bro comedy movement now, and it's really what it is alt-right, largely. And
yeah, true.
It is
misogynistic.
Here is an example. When my special comes out, in the opening, it's called Alpha Chick. In the opening statement, I say, talking about the ERA, women are equal to men, and I say, we're not equal, we're better. That's my opening line. If you think that I'm not going to get attacked by all these alt-right bros, I posted an ad to get people to come to my taping. I didn't say anything about my comedy. I just wore a shirt that says girls can do anything and got the most nasty, heinous, misogynistic things posted underneath
and not
it.
One.
Oh no, it was a large collection
we sat and listened. She read them, and I was just hysterical.
I think I see an Adam's apple because, of course, then they have to say I'm a transvestite. It's like the same old shit. Jen Kirkman is
I can actually guarantee that she is not a transvestite.
Thank you. She's very outspoken on Twitter and things like this in defense of women, and she posted something like kind of telling guy comics what they could do because so many aren't speaking up. And Jeff Ross then denied his rape allegations that were out against him, and then she had specifically said, don't retweet me, please. And he did, as part of his rape allegation denial. And now she's on Twitter today begging him to remove it because she's screenshotting all of his followers are attacking her for just saying it's not okay and we need you to speak up. And so she's posting screenshots and they're comparing her to a dude and talking about how shrill women are and women aren't funny. It's like... It's all
these small dicked, they call small dick energy, these dickless... These dickless bros. It's just like if I wish people understood that women like to treat women like that. Like it doesn't. Dude, there's a reason you're not getting laid. Yeah. You get it? There's a reason that you don't have someone smoking on your arm. There's a fucking reason. Right. You're a loser, dude. You have no concept about how to treat a fellow human being. You piece of shit. My attitude about it is like whenever I see it. And here's the thing. You don't never see with those guys. You never see those guys with the most smoking hot ever. You never see. They're never with that with a good chick. They're never with someone smart.
Yeah.
And if they are, it's this plastic, damaged. You just get track mark. It's crazy to me to watch who these guys who do that shit to you end up with. Because it's the definition of loser. It's like, really, bro? Is that what you got? Is that your game? Yeah, all women are shrill. Fuck you. You're just a child, my friend. Dude, you are a tiny little boy who couldn't handle a woman with a vocabulary. That's what I think.
I think there's also something to how you were raised, the examples your parents set for you. Your
but you and I parents didn't have that. You and I did not. She had good parents. You and I didn't.
But maybe Right.
I made decisions in spite of. I was like, I'm never
that's-
doing that.
So when I look back, I think, oh, well, maybe I went the opposite on purpose. Or
I remember the days I made
was there
decisions.
a reason for that? But I don't. Maybe you're right. I don't know if maybe it's just in you to just
Not be a dick?
You just have a moral compass, and you know fucking right from wrong, and you don't treat people like shit, and you don't treat people differently because they're a different skin color. It's like this shit is everywhere.
But here's the thing: I've never seen it as prevalent, and I know it always existed. I'm not naive enough to go that Obama cured it. He didn't, but Obama made it shameful enough to where it disappeared. It went underground. It didn't disappear gone, but it went underground.
Yeah.
Trump made it okay to hate. Trump made it okay to treat women. The motherfucking president actually said, "Grab them by the pussy." That's the bar
when
that
you're
is set.
famous, you can do anything you want.
Right.
to
That
them.
is the bar that was set by the leader of the free world. You grab him by the pussy, you can do anything.
Oh, she must be bleeding out of her eyes, her ears, her whatever.
Whatever. Right. He paid off a porn star with campaign funds. And I never believed it. I never believed that leadership changes, but it does.
Yeah.
It changed people's mindsets. The people that voted for Trump, most of them voted for Trump because he gave them access to be the assholes they were inside.
Because he made it okay.
Right.
And then he, as divisive as he is, he has formed these cults, right? The MAGA people
QAnon?
with QAnon folded in, or never Trumpers. That's it. That's all there are. And he delineates things like masks mean he said,
Right.
you hate
Right.
Trump.
You hate Trump, you're weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he said it means people wearing that mean they hate Trump.
That's true. You used to hear people say he's one of us.
Yes.
Like they relate to him.
Yes.
And his worldview
What does that
and his
mean? He's a racist?
But
He has
that's-
Klanhood?
Right.
What are you talking
But
about?
inside of that group of his people that he has called his people, the Trumpers, the MAGA people, these behaviors now are accepted, and it's part of their identity as a group.
They're validated because he's the leader.
Correct. I was just listening on the way here to his rally in Arizona last night, and he's talking about coronavirus. He says COVID-19. He doesn't. I don't know why they call it 19. I don't know. And I'm just thinking.
By the way, people, COVID-19. It was discovered in 2019.
So for
Really?
Rush Limbaugh,
I mean, to
and Kellyanne Conway.
to unlock the puzzle for you.
Let's decode this. COVID
But then
is
he
corona.
says- He says-
Project Adventure. She figured it out.
But then he says there's a lot of different names, when he's all cranked up because he's feeding his narcissism. And he said they call it coronavirus. And then he pauses. And then he goes, they call it Wuhan. And then you start to hear some cheers. He goes, that one almost caught on. And then he goes, or they call it, and you can hear.
He's doing a bit.
And it's building the excitement, and he
conducting.
says Kung Flu, and the whole place erupts cheering.
Yeah.
Think about that.
I would love to have him to get his ass beat
That's the
by
problem. He didn't in high school.
by a sixth
Yes.
degree karate master.
Yes.
Asian hardcore. You like a kung fu now? And just
Yeah.
beat it. Just keep
Show him over.
beating his ass. And the Secret Service would be like, "Hey, dude, you started this."
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. You said kung fu how many times? That's racism, pure out. And
But did you hear? I mean, you can hear how excited they
They
are
went nuts.
waiting for him to say it, and then he says it.
it was
and
like
it just-
Springsteen, end of a Springsteen concert. They were like, They were
Yeah.
like, but because the leader says it's okay, everybody else says it's okay. And the great thing about the George Floyd protests were that all of a sudden I've been asking this for 3 years. When are we going to march? When is this
Right.
going to happen?
Yeah.
And it's sad that it took what it took, but the country got rattled a little bit. And here's the problem. Now that it's gone away, though, it's going to fade again. That's my sadness, is that it's going to fade again. So every day, people, it's not just when there's an incident and you're walking the streets with 200,000 people that you should be protesting. When your asshole boss at work starts talking shit as the secretary walks down the hall with a tight skirt on, you should be like, dude, how about you have a little respect? Now, here's the problem with that. and the problem I have in comedy. I have always been like this. People always say, Titus, man, you should just let this shit go. Since I started comedy, because I fell into a bonfire before I started comedy, and I was drinking and drugging, and I stopped, and these guys would go do cocaine every night.
I know, but your drugging consisted of smoking some, homegrown weed in the back seat.
Maybe it was weed. Maybe it was weed. I have a very sensitive
oregano.
Possibly oregano. Could have been some broccoli that just got left out in the sun. I don't know. My dad grew it. I don't know. We had garbage bags of pot up in this thing. Well, pot, whatever Dad planted was up there. I'm not sure what it was. But you guys, if you walk the earth and you let this shit go, if you let your boss get away with it, if you let your buddies be like, oh man, I'd fuck that in a second, and to a 14-year-old, and you don't say anything, we have this thing like it's okay now. It's not okay. Fuck, call it out. Call it out.
Yeah.
The Bubba Wallace thing happened, and again, I don't think this was overwoke. There was a noose hanging in one of the garages. Everybody thought it was in Bubba Wallace's garage. Everybody thought that, okay, it's about Bubba Wallace. It wasn't. Someone said, no, that's been hanging around for, I think that's been there for like almost 2 years, 19 months. The funny thing is someone else said that.
Oh, it's just been there and no problem? No one's...
Hey, we didn't have black guys in the sport at that point. It was okay then.
No, they're saying it was a garage door pull.
Shaped exactly like a noose.
I saw the video of it, and it's...
Is it big? Is it little? Did you see?
It's not a garage pool.
Like
it actually, the rope goes from the ground, it hangs up and over, and then about probably your face height would be the noose, which has the round and then the loop.
This white hood, it's for work. It's for oil. So oil.
I'm wearing a mask. You got to wear a mask. So I just decided to wear a pillowcase and this matching white robes.
What is your problem? We have to set the cross on fire because we need for the fuel for the what. God. So it was actually a noose.
It looks to me, yes, but now he's being attacked, saying he was trying to get fame and spotlight, and he's not the one that reported it.
He didn't report it or find it.
I know.
They kept it away from him.
Interestingly, too, talking about how this president has basically done ollie Oxenfree with racism, misogyny, hatred, division, all these things. So I actually just searched. Don't search this, by the way. It's a mistake. 6 black men hung. So some different things come up when you do that. But
and weirdly enough, she was
depends
on the internet. No, all morning. She was on the internet for about 2 hours. I'm like, what are you looking at? She goes like, I'm researching racism. Are you? And I guarantee right now, I ain't racist. Hey, this is getting weirder.
I watched the final season of Luther last night. Hopefully there's going to be a 6th, but I'm behind on season 5. I watched season 5 last night, and everybody, I think we've told you, Groucho watches TV. He will watch TV for 8 hours straight if it's something that entertains him. I put on Luther last night, and I videoed this. He's standing on the footboard of the bed, staring at the TV, and every time Luther comes on, his tail goes.
By the way, like everybody, man or woman, when Idris Elba hits the screen, we all wag our tails a little bit.
And then it cuts away.
You were like, Idris Elba.
And you can watch it. It cuts away, and then Idris comes into a window, and his tail goes. And I was like, it's all of us.
Yeah, it's all of us.
It's all of us.
It's all, every species, if it's a living thing, it likes Idris Elba. We just have to accept that. Deal with it.
So
black men hung. Go ahead.
Black men are hung.
No, they're not. They're the same size. It doesn't shrink as much. Well, no, I mean from what I've seen, but I only have myself to compare. Go ahead.
Put tears coming down his face when he zooms in right there. So we've had this string lately. There was actually a woman, all people of color, a Hispanic man, and then several black men have been found hanging from trees all over. Oregon, Portland of all places, Southern California, Houston, New York City. The one in Houston was a 17-year-old black kid. He was hanging outside of an elementary school this past Wednesday. All officials are saying on all of these that they point to suicide.
No.
Wait a second.
Yeah. By the way, so they went for the old Confederate excuse. Like so every one of these.
They called it a throwback suicide.
Yeah, throwback suicide.
It's Throwback Thursday. How should I do this?
Um,
Because every black person wants to revisit that period in history.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. When you kill yourself, that's what people want to do. They want to leave that legacy of lynching. And the weird thing is that here. So let's go down. Let's just do a little timeline of this. Okay. So there was an anti-lynching bill. There was an anti-lynching that was going through the Senate recently, as 3 weeks ago. Rand Paul voted against the anti-lynching bill, which means Rand Paul voted for lynching. Do you get that? That, by the way, because if you vote, because he said there was a clause in it that said if you just brushed against somebody, an abrasion would also count as lynching. No. Why are you abrading somebody? What's going on? So he voted against the lynching bill.
It was 4-10 to 4. 4 people voted against it.
4 people. Who voted against? Who voted against? Who voted for lynching? I'd love to find out the names of who voted for lynching. Let's get those names out there. Because you want people, as much as I want people who do good works to get their moment in the sun, people who vote for lynching, I think they should be called out.
More so.
Yes, yes.
He does say that
Rand Paul?
It was poorly written. Cory Booker and Kamala Harris wrote it, so I doubt if Kamala Harris
Poorly
had
written?
anything to do
Poorly
with
written
it.
by 2 black
Who
people.
gives a shit? Poorly written.
This bill,
I
he
doubt
said,
Kamala, it doesn't matter. Kamala Harris and Cory Booker are black people, so it had to be poorly written, right?
Right.
Compared to Rand Paul, right?
This bill would cheapen the
Holy
meaning of
shit.
lynching by defining it so broadly as to include a minor bruise or abrasion, he said. Our national history of racial terrorism demands more seriousness than that.
Oh, that doublespeak. Oh.
Wow. George Orwell is just somewhere going, I nailed it.
Yeah, right.
I really nailed when I wrote 1984. I nailed
Boom,
it.
people.
Yeah. He's like, again, the constant George Orwell mic drop in the last 3 years.
By the way, the 2 people that wrote it, he was accusing of not taking it as seriously
So he
as
was
it needed to
he was
be.
accusing the 2 black
The
people.
white guy accused the black, you know what, you two, you're really not taking this seriously.
You know, Whitney Cummings, speaking
that
of
is
that,
rich.
speaking of this, and white men do this, and I've seen it a lot lately. As I get older and wiser, I start to notice, you start to notice all the shit that George Carlin was actually talking about. So someone pointed out that, because Whitney was friends with Chris, she came out right away and was like, hey, this is disgusting.
Like 2 or 3 days later. Yeah.
Right, but she was friends with Chris, with Leah. But she so basically, people like, you knew, why didn't you do something? Yeah. It's not Whitney Cummings' fucking problem to actually call, because no. By the way, no one's a pedophile in front of you.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
because you know why? Because they know they're pedophiles.
Right.
So the funny thing is that people started to blame her. Always blame the woman. By the way, if we can, as white men, we like to blame black people and women. Hi, I'm Christopher Titus. Eve, did you eat that apple? Oh, this is on you. And then all of a sudden, all crime and horror starts for humanity. Eve, it's Eve's fault.
You're welcome.
Eve. Yes, yeah.
Eve was the original Yoko Ono.
Yeah.
You're right.
I riffed that joke.
I
the
laughed so
second
hard.
show, I just watched it yesterday of my special taping.
Oh, it's in.
Yeah, it's in. I saw it. It made
put
me
it in.
laugh because I haven't heard it very many times. I was like, oh, that's genius.
What's funny about that special is that I was in the back with the cameras and I was watching, and you said stuff that I'd never heard you say before, and I thought, to have the balls to, like, with me as special, I wanna lock it down. Unless it's going well, then I'll riff. But I have written this stuff and it's nailed, and I worked it and shaped it. She's just throwing out new jokes during her comedy special. It's annoying how good
but
that
I
was.
know about editing.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
As a woman, how do you do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Look, here's another great example. And I would say about what you just said, that women are equally responsible. If we say that men are responsible to call it out, if people are saying that Chris D'Elia's guy friends shouldn't protect him and they should call it out, because clearly when you watch some of them talk about his preferences on podcasts, they knew.
A lot of people knew, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody knew.
But women
Surprising.
are also responsible, not trying to play the dude. And also, if one person has to stand up, we all have to stand up. But women in comedy, nationally syndicated radio station all over the United States. I start getting tweets that people can't believe that I don't write my own material. I dig through it. I get to the bottom of it, and I find out that it's a club manager in Omaha, Nebraska, who has gone on this national radio show. And although she said I am really good, which was nice, but I'm good because, one, I'm pretty. That was so right
But that's
before
valid. That's true.
Right before a bitch says you're pretty, she's about to cut your
Yeah,
knees
she's
off.
actually she's got the bat. She's choked up on the bat. She's ready.
And then she's
so beautiful. Oh shit, here it comes.
But I'm also
ready.
good because he writes everything for me.
They said that I wrote material, and the funny thing that the ironic thing about that person saying that was when I wrote Love is Evil, Ray and I had started dating, and Ray the reason I even wanted to get her into comedy because she started giving me jokes. She's like, hey, what if you said this? I'm like, oh shit, that's really funny. Hey, what if you said this? Oh, and at one point I was like, stop giving me jokes. I got this, but if you have anything really good, give it back to me. And so Ray, and then when I kind of was like, I was like forced, I was like, write comedy. And she started, the jokes she was cranking out, I was like, I worked in a writer's room on Titus with some of the best writers, and we had funny fucking dudes, and she was cracking out jokes. I was like, I was irritated, actually. Some of them were irritating because they were so good. You're a funny person. I can't wait till your special comes out.
But the assumption is if it's good, and it's really good,
yours.
which is what she said, then it must have been written by a man. Right. And it wasn't like she and I had ever discussed that. It's not like that's even a rumor in the industry.
No.
Because I can't even get him, to...
There's no way in
to lift
hell.
the seat. Or
If you know me, me,
I've given that up a long time ago.
that is hacky, and you should never have said that.
It is not hacky if it's true.
No, I do.
You do not.
Because we have the ones that go.
No,
I have never ever walked out of a bathroom
3
without
nights ago.
Like, how come you can't put it down?
I am tired of falling in the middle of the night. It's hard to go back to sleep after you've had a butt bath.
That is bullshit because you have vision.
No, I go in the
not
dark.
blind.
I don't turn the lights on because then that messes with your circadian rhythms.
Right, and I keep finding pee in the sink, and it's not me. So maybe you should turn the light on.
I have really long legs.
You are tall. Yes,
You are. You're incredibly tall. It is
from the doorway. And she scores.
So we have.
My point being, I can't get him to write. I can't get him to do. He's not going to write material for me. He sure as hell is not going to write pro-women material for me.
First
Let
of
me
all,
tell you what I think about women.
The last thing I would do, it's hard enough to write comedy.
It is,
I'm on my 9th special, working on my 10th now. I will be honest with you. There is no way in hell I have time to write you 90 minutes of jokes when I have to work on my next 90 minutes of jokes.
You also can't write for someone else's voice.
Someone said, did you say that one day? You go, hey, all that birthing material, all that women birthing material, and all that
my mom's cancer.
Yeah, your mom
material.
cancer bit that I wrote for her. It's really all funny. But that's what I'm saying is there is as racism is systemic, so is misogyny, and so those two things. It's not an overwoke. It's evolution of the human species, don't you think? At one point, we have to stop it, and there's been times in the '60s we kind of stopped some of it, and then it comes back. We get comfortable. Our thing is that we get comfortable and we get complacent, and then it just rolls back. And I will never again, ever again doubt that. Evil comes from the top down, as does good. I mean, when Obama was here, I remember the night Obama got elected, and now comparing it to Trump. When Bush got elected in Clinton, it was Bush, Clinton. He said we were all kind of like, okay, that's just the presidency, right? We didn't take it, but then Obama got elected, and that was a historic event. A black man got elected, and I remember the night he won, and he came out and gave that speech. I think it was in Chicago, and it felt like we were on track to something new and better. Like we were all cool. These riots, I felt the same way. And for the first time, I've seen black people like pointing that out. Black people were like, wow, white people were here this time. Because we're done. We got young people like Fetus and stuff that are like, this is over. We're not doing this anymore. And I would
and now we have K-pop stans and TikTok kids.
That's awesome.
Who have they're grooming themselves to be 18 and vote, but until then they're going to do what they can.
So my daughter, we found out my kids came over on Father's Day, and to all you fathers out there that are doing your job, good job. But all you fathers out there that abandon your kids and don't help, fuck off. That being said, I'm just sorry if you don't, man. You have a responsibility. I take it real serious. And by the way, this is why I'm not popular. Because since I started comedy, there's right and wrong. There just is. There's no gray area to me. You know, if you're talking, when I was opening in middling, I'd show up at a club and the guy'd be talking about his wife and his kids, and then that night he bangs a waitress, and I remember being like, I was 19 or 20, I was like, that's you're my dad. You're being my dad. I'm not gonna do that.
That was every week.
And I would call dudes out on it. I'd be like, dude, did you sleep with her last night? And I go, what about your kids and your wife? And then the next thing it was like, hey Titus, did you give the headliner some shit? I didn't give him some shit. I just asked him about why is he fucking the waitress, which is really not your place. Whose place is it then? And that's the thing, people. It's your place. Someone's doing some shit out of line. Right. It's your place.
And comedy is a cesspool, man. After working in it for so long, I mean, it's. I told him today, I don't know if it's the job that draws them, you know, where they can have anonymity going city to city, or if it's having to do that and being on the road alone that then changes them, or the availability of vagina, because some girls, especially in those southern clubs I had, would throw themselves at a dude even if he was a $900 for the week act, right? Just because there was a little bit of fame. I mean, there were undercover rape allegations without saying who they were against, because that comic has died. But there were some pretty hefty rape allegations that we were told about by several people. I mean, we had there was another comic that was going. He was raping girls and he was playing colleges. What the hell's his name? Oh, this was the guy.
Yeah, he actually did prison
serial
time.
Rapist. Yeah,
and he was going into what he would do was he would always go. It's weird how they find a plan. He would go. He was touring colleges because I did that for a while too. You do 30 colleges. I didn't rape anybody. I'm just saying that.
You did that too?
No, I did not. But you go to college. You do every day. You do a new college and do 30 in a row. What he's doing was he would go to the college during the days, do a sound check, and then go find the music room. And there's always some girl in there playing piano. And it was like they busted him like 3 or 4. The hell was his name? You can probably look it up.
This was before my time.
Because we want to call it out. But he did jail time. He did jail time. I don't understand this part of men.
Vince Champ.
And I worked with this guy.
He won Star Search in '92.
Yep.
You were on Star Search.
I was on Star Search, and I'll tell you a story about this specific thing.
In 1997, he was identified as a serial rapist when his DNA and tour schedule were matched up.
Somebody found his tour schedule.
By that way, that was his merch.
It was like on her body.
It was 1997 tour. Don't check my DNA. that was his merch.
He won $100,000 on Star Search. He became a favorite for college bookers because he only did clean material. In 1997,
it's never Carlin. Carlin was in like the most normal, moral. Yeah.
He was arrested. He was spotted fleeing the scene of an attempted rape at Pasadena City College here. He got arrested. He was released on bail and he left for the Caribbean. He ended up getting arrested again, and they caught him for rapes in Omaha, Newark, all over the country.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is he still in jail?
Each time he covered the women's heads so they could not identify them. He talked to every woman during the assault and asked each of them to pray for him after.
Wow.
But after this is over, not yet.
Wait. Yeah, don't. You're gonna. It doesn't work if you pray during it. nothing gets you softer than during a rape than the girl praying. Stop it! I'm trying to rape you. Like, what is wrong?
Be quiet with the praying.
That's such a weird extra level of kink. Did it? Not yet. Pray for me.
I don't know if he's still in jail or not. But yeah,
computer
labs.
Reasons.
He would find girls working alone in computer labs. He got a 25 to 30 year prison sentence in 2000.
Holy shit! So he's definitely still in. Well, unless you got it for good behavior.
Right.
Wow. So here's the problem with this. Besides the obvious ones, when you're a comic, I believe we're preachers. I believe that our job is to get out there and try to make a difference. Pryor, say what you want about him, but I can point to Mudbone. There's a bunch of stuff that Pryor did that was actually made and written to inspire and change. Get some sun on your face. He would tell the stories about his problems, his foibles, his things that he did wrong, and he gave you an insight into how stupid human beings can be. And he was self-deprecating. And I think that's our job. Once we know, even when he got caught for doing stuff like I did it, I touched you, I'm so sorry.
You keep doing the poke. It's the You're in my box. Stay in your own box.
You got to be careful what you say and how you say it. Yeah, in Rachel's box. Don't ever Google it.
Here, it's more
because you will be on the internet for 2 hours.
He's set to be released in 2033.
Wow, he still has more time.
He's in Nebraska because one of his was in Omaha. And for that one, he received 25 to 30, but there were a bunch of other ones, so he might have to serve other sentences.
So when he's out there, he may have to go somewhere else?
He's 3 years older than you, so he's 58. Everybody knows how old you are. Your birthday is on the internet everywhere.
Look at that handsome
I'm
face.
still pretty, though.
Look at that.
You are. Put tears on that one, too.
Don't call out editing during the podcast.
Sometimes I say things and his eyes light up.
I know, you guys are jerks.
Oh, yeah.
So he's 58, so he gets out maybe his earliest would be 13 years from now.
Wow.
So 71 if he lives that long.
Good. Glad. I'm glad he went down. Good. I'm glad he's in prison. I hope he rots there.
Don't say it like that. You're glad that he went to prison.
I'm glad he went to prison, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm glad.
Don't say I'm glad he went down.
He didn't. They were praying. That's really hard then. Could you stop for a second? No. Don't sing Amazing Grace either. I'm raping you. This is not okay. Offended rapist guy is the weirdest character ever.
And no laughing. No
and
laughing
one
was
that
on
you'll
stage.
never be able to use anywhere. Yeah. Don't even bother developing this character. It's not going to fly.
But we have to start calling it out. And I think we saw with the... whether it's black people getting killed, unarmed black people getting killed, black people getting hassled all the time because they're black, or women getting hassled just because they're women, you got to call it out. You just got to call it out. It's time to shine lights, even if it may cost you. Like, listen, man, there's some people, I'm not cool. I'm not seen as a dude, Titus will hang, do coke, do blow with us, and then he'll go fuck some waitresses. I ain't that guy. Never been that guy. Never hung out with those guys. Right. I have a couple of friends in comedy. You.
Thank you.
Billy.
Name drop. Josh Wolf.
But I'm not going on Josh Wolf doing mushrooms with him. You know
Although
what I mean?
he wants you to.
He does want me to. He wants to microdose me. He's like, come on, let's get Titus.
I don't think this is ever.
I don't think so either. It's like, no, by the way, Darth Vader at one point was just a dude.
Right.
You know?
Way worse.
At one point, he was Luke's dad.
And then he did shrooms.
Right. Then he hung out with Josh Wolf. And the next thing you know, he's like, I am your father. Stop.
Who else do you talk
Not
to?
comics. Slade's a friend. I mean,
Sam Damaris is a good
Sam's
guy.
a good guy. I have guys. You know, it's by the content of your character, man. You know, but if you're that dude. So years ago, I did Star Search, and the guys that were producing it at the time, they're both huge in the business, and still are, and you won't be able to figure it out because there's a lot of guys that produce Star Search. But did it after the show. I won an episode. They took me. They said, let's go hang out. We were in Florida filming. It was filmed at Disney in Florida. And they go, let's go back to the hotel. And they called, ordered a bunch of alcohol, and a bunch of girls were coming over that were at the show, that they had actually got their numbers at the show. And I said, wait. I do the comedy because I love comedy. I want to do this more. This is my life. Right. You do it to get laid. Yeah. And there wasn't giggles. No one laughed. They looked at me like, wow, this guy's a dork. And I went home. I got a cab and went home. Ordered room service. I just never been that dude. I've never been that dude. And because I'm not that dude, that's my wife. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I like dorks. Put a tear on me when you zoom in on that.
You even said, so you know a weird conversation we had this weekend? My kids are over at the house on Sunday. They brought omelets and we had breakfast and stuff for Father's Day. And we start having this conversation about what was going on with Dalia, and my daughter goes, girls like bad boys, and she goes, oh yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on? And you guys
early on, and then you get tired and
But what is it about
abused.
Guys that are dicks that you guys are cool with? I get it with my dad.
It's part of the system
journey,
but
that we grow up in, and
but he doesn't get it either.
There's something very appealing about that which you cannot tame. And when you're younger, you have that energy to try and tame it. You're going to be the one that's going to fix him.
But there's a line, though, right? There's a line of
I'm not tameable on certain things.
For some women, but some not.
You and I, there's stuff that I'm like, we just won't stand for. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen like that.
Yeah, but that's because you're an asshole.
Right, and that's kind of a bad. That's like a bad boy, right?
You can put tears on
It's
it.
not a good.
He's when I first met him, here's the difference. When we first started dating, he did care about my brain. He did want to talk for hours and hours and hours.
I never in my life sat down with a woman that, and maybe it's my fault for not researching far enough, that was like I would start having a conversation about what's going on in the world, and you were right there. I'm like, holy crap, like you weren't silly. And a friend of mine said that. He goes, wow, she's not silly.
Yeah, you definitely didn't research far enough. You really just stopped at kindergarten and you just left it.
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Picture books.
No, my ex had subscriptions to In Touch, People, and Us, and I remember one day seeing these stacks of shit magazines, and I was thinking, what did I marry?
Right.
Like how I was getting older, and I produced a television show, and I was like, why are you still reading this shit?
You grew up. But what I was so stunned by with him was that, he'd say, oh, I'll call you tonight after the show. We'd be on the road or something. I'd be working at whatever club I was working at that weekend. And I guess in the back of my mind, I would think, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. You might not, And every night he'd get back to his hotel room and he'd call me. And I remember thinking, what is this? Because guys I had dated, they would just, even if you were in a relationship for 2 years, they would disappear.
For days sometimes.
How does it? Okay. I was at a strip club and I passed out. And then I was in their car when I passed out, and so they drove 3 hours away to the desert, and then I found myself there, and then they gave me mushrooms, and it was like constant, right?
Yeah, you can always tell someone's lying when the story gets really, really detailed. We went out with the dudes. We got back at 3. I just figured you were asleep. That sounds like a real story. This story, well, here's what happened. First, we went to Burger King, and then John got sick. So when John got sick, we had to help him in the parking lot. Then his girlfriend called, and she was flipping out. So we go to his house. Cops are there, right? Yeah. So what we got to do is got to wait for him. Like, dude, stop.
Right. But when you're younger, you have the energy to try and tame that or fix that, or I don't know why. It seems so stupid in hindsight.
It goes the other way, too. I tried to fix it.
Probably also I had mild daddy issues. And
yes,
saying mild is putting it mildly.
Yes.
And
it's lying,
so,
actually. Put tears on this one.
It's okay. I can make them myself. But it was refreshing. I met you at a time in my life where I was just tired of it. And I did just want something a little more normal, whatever that was.
What's really weird is that the people that watch the podcast or the people that know us or see our shows, is that if anybody's met you, you are such a quality female. Like there's such a level of brains, beauty, heart, courage. Like you have this. You're a really high quality human, and I don't. And every time you tell these stories, these guys cheated on me. They would beat us. I'm like, who?
How?
Like, don't you think that too?
Yes.
After what you've gone through,
yeah.
Don't you think maybe it's because it's just we're older and it's wisdom now. But like it's like when you, because you're talking to, by the way, talking to somebody.
Still?
Yes.
Same one.
Same one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him. He got all
we made a love connection on the podcast.
We nothing. 100%. I run this
am
bit.
in charge of the podcast as long as she says it's okay.
No, this was me saying this on the podcast, to which you said I shouldn't say that it's not nice. It's kind of offensive to him. And he was like, no, I'm fine.
He didn't care. After what he's gone through in the last 9-10 years, he didn't care.
And then I got the email and then researched, found a photo on my own, and then sent it to him. And so It wasn't we. It was me.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, if she tries to stab you,
I
it was
did.
him.
I did buy the
All him.
equipment to pay for the podcast stuff, so I will say I'm gonna take a 3% cut of this relationship.
Credit.
Yes, 3%.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think you just get tired, and also I don't know. When you're younger, you're insecure. You haven't really developed who you are yet, and so you scrape the bottom of the barrel, and you are willing to accept a lot of more garbage than you would when you get older,
Right.
and you've had enough of those bad relationships where you now have a list of what you will not accept.
You didn't know what was wrong
That's what
until
happened to
you
me.
experienced
Yeah.
it.
That's what happened to me too. After my ex, I was like, okay, this. I took the bar and I went, this is how. I have to clear that bar, or I will not. I will never be with someone again unless they clear that bar.
Yeah.
And you were so far over. It was amazing.
You can come into my box.
All right. Yes. Boom.
To be clear, to people that are just listening,
Because she thinks this.
for him, they're just listening. They don't see what we're doing.
I know.
I
Right.
meant into my personal space to high five me.
Right. Oh, I have been in your
Because
personal
that's
space.
another sentence that is not good.
And, you keep saying you've done it 3 times today where you had to think later.
But see, we know the difference between chemistry between a man and a woman, or woman and a woman, or man and a man, whatever.
So you have more knowledge about certain things than we do.
Yes. We
Do you like have you met your ex's new person?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you like her?
Yeah, she's nice.
Does she look
Nice
like
person.
you?
Yes, she does. She looks like me. Shaved beard.
She looks like you. That would really be fucking annoying.
I would be mad.
Are you
Hi,
serious?
nice to meet you. Nice to meet
Are you
you.
serious? That would be so bad.
So tell us. Go ahead.
Nice person. Good. What does she do?
It's my ex's
Girl.
person.
Yeah. Person. Partner.
All right, let's go into detail. She does the same thing as my ex.
Okay.
So they,
Okay.
Yep,
Got
that's
it.
how
Got
they
it.
met.
Got it.
Yep.
Yep.
Was she married as well?
Yes.
Oh.
So they were both
To a dude?
cheating on it. No. She was fully
with
out.
Oh, okay.
Fully out lesbian.
Yep.
So she's a lesbian that cheated on her lesbian
On her other
relationship.
lesbian. Yeah, they do that. Lesbians,
Oh,
they're
wait,
people too.
whoa. Lesbians are human beings?
They're also people.
That's crazy.
But here's the thing that would bother me for both of them. I'm always confused when, for example, like my girlfriend starts hooking up with a guy who's in a relationship. He's cheating on his wife and to be with her, and then he leaves her to be with this girl. And I always think, what makes you think he's not
Right,
going to do
yeah.
that? You now
Yeah.
know that that's in his nature. And
Yeah.
so for both of them, I would be concerned.
Because here's how dumb we are.
I know.
Won't do it to me.
Yeah, I'm
Won't do it
special.
to me.
Right.
I'm special. Won't do
Right.
it to me.
I think maybe she has.
I'm the opposite. I'm sure that whoever screwed me over in the past, the next person's going to do the same thing. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
I am. I am. Like for a long time with Ray and I, if she just said the words that my ex had used, I'm like, hey, not that
Right.
shit. Like, I would just lose my
I just
mind.
said, however, or something.
She said, however. Like, yeah.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
I've been here before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did. You had a whole moment with me one day I'll never forget in the office, and you said, I want to apologize for something, and I said, what? And I was still pretty young.
Well, you also had a
in
list
life
of things I
and
should have apologized for at this point.
young in this relationship. Oh, I have it. I have a list, and I buried it in a time
website.
capsule that we're going to reopen. Like, I really want to hold on to it for a while.
You built a grievance time capsule.
We're going to dig it up in 2030, and then we're going to revisit
It's a
them all.
list and things I may have broken in anger.
I ensured that I could seethe longer than I thought possible. But you apologized to me and you said, I have not been wanting you to be Rachel. I've been wanting you to be not her.
Right. Right.
And it was true. It was like you were so afraid of being hurt again. But the thing for me was my bar
Hurt is
that
such
I
a
had
nice
to
way
surpass.
By the way, hurt is such a nice way to say that. Like that destroyed, disemboweled, guts ripped out,
embezzled from, cheated on.
Yeah. Let's just hurt. So it's like, I don't want you hurt me.
Death threats.
Yeah.
Death threats.
Yeah,
right.
you know,
all my
the
bank
usual.
accounts drained, money stolen. Yeah, let's keep going.
There are a lot.
Yeah.
There are a lot more. my identity was stolen even. I mean, there's a lot.
By that family, but saying,
Yeah. But for me, it was great because the bar was just don't embezzle hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right. Easy hurdle.
Don't bang 90-year-old men because they own the Beverly Hotel. Beverly Hills. Don't, it's pretty easy for me. I was like, okay. But
yeah, you didn't.
what you thought was normal when I met you was not normal by any
that's
stretch. So tell us more. Are you going to meet? Is this?
Yes, we're going to meet. I mean, my bar originally was just be straight. So
yeah, that was pretty. So she's good.
Check.
Yep.
That's
okay.
good.
Well, if I may, yesterday we're working. We're getting ready for this Fortune Feimster show this weekend. Fortune's birthday, by the way.
That?
Fortune's Feimster's birthday is coming up. I talked to Fortune. The show she's planning is going to be so fun. Fortune has a great history and experience in improv too.
Yes.
So besides the jokes that she's doing, spinning on a wheel that you're going to be able to see, she's going to have to do the bits.
She was groundlings.
Which, by the way, this scared the hell out of me. That she's going to spin a wheel with lists of bits on it, and she has to do that bit.
Right.
I'm like, I can't remember my new
also-
show. How am I going to remember?
I think it's also topics too, right? Like whatever it lands on, she has to perform on. But she was Sunday company with the Groundlings, right? And if you ever go watch some of her characters, her Hooters waitress character. But Fortune Feimster this Saturday, the 27th. It'll be tomorrow for people hearing this. Will the video be up on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, so tomorrow, but you can go get your tickets now at combustionlive.com or fortunelive.eventbrite.com.
But I was going to say is that we're getting ready for the show, and I was talking to him, and he is so weird because here's what happens when you're in a bad relationship. Your level of normal changes.
Yeah.
You start to get really used to, like I was used to getting yelled at. I was used to psychotic behavior, just used to it. I was used to being lied to. I just got used to it. And then I met Ray, and it was like, like everything. It kind of rattles everything, and you remember. So I asked him, and he goes, "Dude, it's weird. Like we're just texting back and forth, and she's saying things that like my ex never said, and I don't even know this woman yet." And she's like, "Yeah."
Have you spoken?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, do you see how quick that was?
Hello.
Hello, lady.
No, I mean, it's great. It's going well, and
so let me just say, if you still want to get in on the Ken Highlander Highland dating possibility right now, because the window is about to close. So when are you going to meet?
I think once our kind of our weekends clear up, we'll plan something.
And there's not a worldwide pandemic.
What does she do? Or is that?
She works. She has a day job. She works in HR.
Yeah.
So she has like a
serious
9
job.
to 5 serious job, and
it's just so weird when you meet someone.
Hold on, he's on the hot seat.
I know, but he's also getting nervous about talking about her on the podcast.
Is she an artist as well, or is she has this job and she's doing something else?
She is an artist, actually. Yes.
I'm just curious.
Interesting.
If this is.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just wondering. I would expect you to probably be. Can't you see him with someone that's into some form of art?
Yeah. So she has hobbies and stuff, is what you're saying,
right?
No,
Crafts.
I mean like she's creative.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah. She does like screen printing things. She does like some graphic stuff. Yeah, it's
cool.
There's
good.
some compatibilities
Why
there.
are you uncomfortable?
I just think I can see him. I can see him.
That's what makes it so good.
I know, but you're my. She loves
to dig in.
She's the only person I've ever seen that if you're totally uncomfortable and I don't want to talk about this. She's like, come on, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah,
give me
something horrible.
Give me the goods.
Your heart gets broken watching TV, like some great movie, and you're crying. I look over. She's like, bah! She's laughing in my face because I'm a feeling human being.
Yeah.
That's not okay. That's not okay.
It's whatever video he's watching, and the small black child runs and hugs the small white child, and then
that one
next thing I know,
there was one yesterday that a dude that was color blindness got the spot. They came with these new glasses that he can see color, and the dude he's an older black dude, and he's like what you go reading glasses, like it's his birthday, happy birthday, and you hear his daughter go, no, those are the special glasses, Dad. And he puts them on, and he goes, and he takes them off, and he bursts into tears. Bubba Wallace leaning on his car when NASCAR was walking behind him.
So every time I look over in bed, if he's on Twitter or whatever watching these videos, and he's crying. It makes me laugh really hard. I can't help it. And what do you say to me every time? You're the meanest person I've ever met.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry that I have a feeling heart. By the way, it goes both ways.
What's that like?
I know I'm sensitive and I'm rageful.
Yes,
it goes both ways.
It does.
It's the same. It's the same.
We're looking for some middle ground here.
I have sometimes, once in a while.
Okay.
She hasn't seen
Middle
it.
ground? No.
You married me.
Zoom in on your face on that shot. With tears. Put tears on your face.
I think you've only seen me mad one time. And it wasn't
Which
really,
week?
Really,
the maddest. It was Josh Wolf's show. It wasn't because of Josh Wolf. It was with the crew before Josh got here.
Yeah.
We had 3 days of work that we couldn't get rid of a buzz.
So get your tickets for Fortune Feimster. This was my show request. I love Fortune. She's also from North Carolina. She makes me laugh. She's just a pure human on stage. And
off stage too, actually.
Just self-deprecating and talks, about her Southern family, which I completely identify with. But it's her birthday show, so she's going to have the wheel. She's bringing a couple other comics to do time before her. They're going to do a lesbian sing-along.
Yep.
Come on.
$10, people. You get a drink of your own booze in your own house, wearing your pajamas or naked. Doesn't matter. You can enjoy it. It's live comedy, combustioncomedy.com.
She's
Go
bringing
there.
her friends. We're going to have a few of our audience people there, everyone in masks. But basically, live, nothing ever goes wrong live, right?
3 cameras.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
totally
awesome to
smooth.
watch. To watch
Yeah.
a comedian in the moment have to make decisions, which Josh did an amazing job with.
She said, Josh did the same thing I did. So when I did my show, the first 10, 20 minutes was like weird. Josh did the same thing. He goes, that's weird. And then Fortune goes, what's it going to be like? I go, first 20 minutes is going to be weird.
Yeah.
Do you know what, though? She's bringing a whole crew of people that she knows and loves. And then we have people. This will be a slightly bigger audience than we've had. I think this is going to be easier
It might
for her
feel
than
a
it
little
has been.
more familiar.
Yeah. We're getting better at this every time. And so our main thing always is to make the performer love it and happy and feel the most comfortable. So I think this is going to be good.
I'm excited about it. Go to combustionlive.com.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, this podcast today brought to you by Harry's.
Oh,
You're at home a lot right now. And if you're not, why not? Unless you're an essential worker or you have to go back to work. My
But wear a
sister had
mask,
to
for
go back
God's
to work.
sakes.
Wear a mask. Take care of yourself. But underneath that mask and then maybe underneath your clothes, you should be using Harry's razors. We love Harry's. We're kind of obsessed with Harry's.
so last night,
So much that our ad person this week was like, OMG, it's our favorite. It's Harry's this week. And I was like, yay.
I've never, in the time that we started using Harry's, I have never had a day that I've shaved where I thought that didn't work. Like last night, so my razor's been in the shower for 2 months, just sitting up there. I keep one in the shower.
When you're not using mine?
I don't use yours anymore.
Liar.
No. So I used it. Yes, I've been sitting there. I hadn't changed the blade in about 2 months. Look. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, they last a long time.
Right?
I mean,
5 blades.
It sound like it's for me, but
you did the video.
I do. Yeah, I don't do the head though.
You know?
I
does
shave
the
my
head
neck
with the
with it,
electric
and I'll
thing,
go
yep.
up here. I haven't done it in like a week, but
Yeah, you're really not the best spokesman.
you-
I'm not the best
right now.
spokesman.
Right now.
Right now.
Are you going
Right
to
now.
shave before you meet Cindy?
I possibly yes. I think so. We'll see.
Trust me, there's been some pics sent back and forth. So
Cindy Lou? What's her? I don't know.
Cindy Lou, that's her name.
Cindy Lou.
She's one of.
I hope it's not Cindy Lou.
Is she from Whoville?
I think you should shave a little bit. You can bring this part down and and then you can do this.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you want to look like you care somewhat,
Right.
even
Yep.
though she
Clean
can
up.
see you on this every week.
Right.
Which apparently she did before.
Bye,
writing
straighten
in.
up your nether regions too before you meet the lass.
I wasn't
All
going
right.
to say that.
I know, but what's implied by what you're saying?
My sister is now using Harry's razors. She's back in Washington, D.C., and she's now using them. And she had the same thing. It was kind of like, why have I not? Why
Yeah.
didn't you tell me? And I said, well, I did send one to your ex, and I guess he never used it. He didn't, I think probably because it was from me. He was like, toss. But she loves it.
Five Blades, German factory. They're committed to getting it right every time. And their body wash is awesome. And
Redwood, get Redwood.
Their soaps are awesome. I'm happy with it.
They have hair products now.
Do they?
Yes. Don't cry. Yes.
Wow, that's a weird area. You better nail that.
They got
Can't
a couple different choices.
All
Everything else they make is so
Send me
good. I
Harry's.
like the peppermint face scrub. It's all awesome. Go check it out. Right now, listeners of the show, you can redeem your full trial set at harrys.com/Titus. In that trial set, you get the weighted ergonomic handle, you get the 5-blade razor, you get the lathering shave gel with aloe, which keeps you hydrated, which I love, and you get the travel blade cover. It comes in this really nice setup in this box. Go to harrys.com/Titus to start shaving better today, and also give them as gifts. It's like negligible cost. You pay the couple bucks for shipping.
What's
and
cool
you're
when you
good to
give it
go.
as a gift, you get this box, and then you open the box, everything's set up.
Yeah.
I think Apple
really presented nicely.
Yes, it
Right.
presented. Apple changed everybody. When Steve
Right.
Jobs decided that, because remember you used to get just shit in boxes
Yeah.
before Apple?
Yeah.
Apple changed it. So Harry's actually kind of goes out of their way to make sure that what you get is so well presented. When you open it, you go,
Right.
it's like a little kid.
Their website is really nice too, so just go cruise it a little bit. But they're doing 1% of all sales are going to nonprofit organizations to help provide access to better health care for men and veterans. And they're also donating $1 million worth of shaving supplies to hospitals across the United States. So they're also good people. That's
Yep.
why we love this company so much. So anyway, shave
my everything.
Save your Skittles,
My-
my friend. We've talked about it. We've now established it.
What did he ask
And
for?
she can shave her cheesecake.
What did
What
he
are we
say
doing?
we were out of? What did he say we were out of at the shop that we needed?
Nutbags.
Nutbags.
There you go. Shave
So
those.
we have
Shave it.
snacks at the shop, and he writes down, and we're also out of nutbags. And
You and I-
And there you go.
4-year-old giggles like a thing, and I go, "What'd you say, nutbag?" And then I giggle like a 4-year-old.
We're 4 years old. It's
Yes, we
okay. We enjoy ourselves.
So we do have another one today. Are we good?
That's
Is that our one today?
mhm.
Okay, good.
Somebody
Sure.
wrote in yesterday and thanked us for the products that we promote. She said it was interesting that she said, I've tried everything you guys promote because the first one that I tried was Harry's and it was so awesome. I thought, okay, maybe they don't just hoard crap.
Yeah.
And so then she tried Liquid IV. She said all of the employees at the place where she works now because of us are on Liquid IV and Molecule and MeUndies. It's like all the stuff
I just wanna
that
be
we...
clear. You're a whore about this.
100%.
You will take advertising. If,
No
if
doubt.
it was like pro Hitler, you'd go,
No.
should we do the pro Hitler thing?
No, I
And
wouldn't.
you'd be like, we're not doing pro Hitler. It's not really
No.
pro Hitler, really. You'd start to kind of like
No.
weasel.
Go to hitler.com/Titus and get your patches.
Did you see Trump ads got flagged and pulled off of Facebook
Yeah, that
for
was
using
crazy.
the Nazi symbol, that upside down red triangle?
They were using a Nazi symbol, and they were saying
A symbol that's
we
not
talk about-
associated with anything else.
Can we talk
Yeah.
about Tulsa? I wanted to talk about, you kind of hit on it. Can we talk about what happened in Tulsa?
Sure.
So he did his rally in Tulsa. First of all, COVID cases are spiking countrywide.
Yep.
Tulsa, Oklahoma is like literally on a trajectory. It's worse than any ramp Evel Knievel jumped on. It's just going up like this, and or Tony Hawk doing it, and just going vert. It's going vert, totally vert. We're invert. We don't want to be invert in COVID. So Trump does this rally, and here's what's awesome. They say, we have over 1 million tickets reserved. Well, we found out on Father's Day, my daughter said, oh, yeah, all of us got online, all of us, the young people of the country, he says as an old man, and they ordered tickets.
She said she saw it. Some other
she
kids
ordered- she goes,
organized it.
that's
She
a great
goes, oh,
idea,
I
yeah.
ordered a ticket
She goes,
for
I ordered
that.
tickets.
Yeah.
So the Trump people had all these reservations, thought they were going to blow it out. They put up a full-on Rolling Stones
Concert
stage.
Yeah.
Nobody shows.
That's awesome.
They had a 20,000-seat arena.
That's the move.
Their
They tore it
overflow.
down
Love
before
that.
the rally.
Their overflow was going to be 40,000. They thought 6,200 people showed up.
Brilliant.
That is a genius
but of
protest.
those,
The best
some were
troll ever.
security, some were hired actors, some were Trump campaign workers
Seat
from
fillers
local
or whatever.
offices. And it came down to like 1,600 and something.
It was
that
like
were
1,600
actual.
total people showed up.
But in that 20,000 seat arena, 6,000 people.
And then-
but to be clear, the K-pop stans and the TikTok kids, they did not keep adults from coming. They just made them think their numbers were going to be higher. So the excuse of, they screwed it up. No. They didn't stop ticket sales at any number.
Right.
They were unlimited.
Right.
It was first come, first
they
serve.
accommodated the entire...
Right.
Anyone that wanted to come.
All the tickets.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's why some people lined up for 5 days. And, they had to regret that later because it was so many seats available.
It's just such a nice troll. It's the best.
Yeah,
I think
God,
it's by
it's
far the
beautiful.
best. But the thing is that, that's a good point, that they didn't stop Trump supporters from showing up, because if Trump
Right.
supporters had got there early, they didn't show up.
Yeah.
So this is a good sign.
It's a
for
flawless.
us. But by the way, this doesn't mean don't vote. This doesn't mean it's a done deal. It ain't a done deal. This dude, as I was with a malignant narcissist for many years. This dude, trust me, will do any and everything he can to win. He will. The thing happened in Kentucky, the way they kind of closed 95% of the polling places.
They had one polling place for all of Louisville.
Yeah, there's one. They will do everything they can to win, to hold on to power.
Yeah.
So right now we have like 130 something days left. Even if you didn't vote in the primary, right now go on your state website. If you live in Florida, put in Florida voter registration. And under that, you will see like mail-in registration if that's offered in your state, early voting so that you're not out there on the day of. Maybe you can go to a polling place early and cast your vote, but make sure that you go and do that now and be prepared. That way, if your mail-in ballot doesn't come, you're ready and it's not coming. You have time to troubleshoot, but please vote. Nobody can be too comfortable.
And if you can't find that, call the local mayor, whatever, and go, what the hell is going on? Why can't I find a way to vote? These guys are trying to voter suppression in our country is the biggest thing, and Trump keeps saying voting by mail. He big speech yesterday, voting by mail. That's the way they steal the votes. People go in and they take first of all,
he voted by mail like the
Right.
last 6 elections.
his press secretary Kaylee Twatwaffle,
she
whatever her
did.
name was, she 9 times in the last
they
11
all
years.
do. Do you know who else
Pence?
does? Military members of the military.
So that's why I got this. So he thinks the military is actually going to ruin the election because they vote by mail. So he thinks that these elderly people who maybe vote for him, he's going to make it hard for them to vote too. The only way the GOP can win, is at this point, with all that's gone wrong, 30 million unemployed. We're approaching, I'm going to get close to 130,000 Americans dead from COVID. We've got cases going through the roof. We're going to hit 250 with COVID pretty quick because the
new model today on my way in is up to 185,000.
they added 40,000. Jesus.
Yes, as of
today?
Mhm. And they said that if people started right now for the next 3 months and everyone wore a mask and practiced social distancing, that number they believe could be capped at 145. Still going to go up significantly because of all the recent exposure we would have had thanks to dumbass and a lot of people not protecting themselves during protests and stuff. But if everyone did that right now, which won't happen because he's politicized masks, he flat out said, you wear it, it's a vote against Trump. People are saying you're going to get spores in your lungs. And I see people like this
Spores?
chick running
What
for
spores from
You'd
what?
have
What?
to breathe out spores to bring in spores. Yeah, because
bacteria
in your mask.
because of the mask. Okay, are you never going to wash your mask ever? Is it not made from a breathable fabric?
Don't want to see your underwear either, bro. If that's
exactly.
that's how you feel. If that's how you feel about a mask.
There's this one chick that's running for office in Florida, of course, and she posted that with no backup, no link, no nothing, and this ER doctor, young girl, goes on there, and her name is something MD, and she goes, posting this is, it's irresponsible and it's dangerous and it's false. There is nothing that says, she goes, if that's the case, why, when I work in the ER for 12 to 14 hours a day, am I not dead by now? I wear a mask
so many
all
doctors
day.
that die of spores that they breathe out from their own lungs and breathe back in. What?
And
Makes
the
no
lady,
sense.
of course,
Now it
because
makes me
this
sick.
is how
God,
people
how
are
stupid
now.
are we now?
This is the
God, we're so
discourse now.
dumb.
So then this chick who has, if you go look at her bio, there's no legal experience, there's No, I think she like has a decorating business or something, but she's running for
Oh,
office.
I know who this is. Yeah.
And she's silly, and she says back something, and she goes, "Thanks, Missy Medical person," and the girl goes back, "That's Dr. Anderson to you."
There you go.
So this is what I mean, guys. See, that kind of stuff, that's stepping into the light, man. Call out the darkness, because right now I feel like we're in this weird chapter where it's possible to fix some of this shit, at least until the next time we forget about it and do it all over again, which will happen in our lifetime again.
We know the protests work, right?
Yeah.
Speaking up works.
Yep.
And
did you see all those cops in Atlanta that bailed? I don't understand. Here, what has happened okay, so when I was a kid growing up with police, you were taught that police were there to protect you. They were there to help you. They were there to stand up for right and wrong. Mm-hmm. They were honest, and that's why they were police officers. Now, it seems like they're getting tanks and military equipment. Mm-hmm. Not quite sure. Sorry, sir. I know you. I know you're asking why. You wonder why I hit you with a Predator drone. Well, you were speeding. And can I get your license and registration? Why do cops need all this shit?
Well, we had to spend that money, or else we don't get it. So we bought all these weapons.
So defund doesn't mean. A friend of ours is in the police department, and I asked her about it. She goes, "No, defund is the dumbest way to say it. We need to restore the police department. We need to restore who they are. We need to restore the public's faith in the police department, because we don't have that right now." And to make it worse, these guys in Atlanta, that guy Richard Brooks, who got killed, shot in the back. Everything else aside, shot in the back. There was no life or death situation for the cop. Those cops in Atlanta, they had a blue flu and didn't show up to work. That is a gang. That is not that is not you doing your job.
And then they have video of that officer kicking him while he was dying on the
Hard,
ground.
full out, literally like almost like a Krav Maga. Yeah.
And then the other cop stood on his chest or shoulder while they were standing there just talking, not giving him CPR or anything like that.
While he died. So that's not what we were taught as kids. That's not what I was taught, that the cop, if something goes wrong, find a cop. If something goes, call the police. Yeah. There was George Floyd, the guy that called on the counterfeit 20, the guy that owns that business, said, "We will never call the police again. If it's something small, we'd rather just not deal with this." Did you see that video of one of the cops that dealt with George Floyd went out shopping?
Yeah.
Did you see a video? Dude, he goes shopping. He's at Cubs Foods, and a woman's like, "Hey, dude, what the hell are you doing here?" Black lady, "What the hell are you doing here? Yeah. Do you just think you murdered a man? We saw it. We watched you. Are you out?" And she just stands there for 5 minutes and tapes this guy. And I thought two things. Number one, probably not the best idea. A, you can get groceries delivered, and B, it's the perfect time to wear a mask, dumb fuck. Why aren't you wearing a mask? Like, no one's going to be like, "Why is that guy wearing a mask?"
Right.
If anything, why come that guy's not wearing a mask? Hey, that's the dude that killed George Floyd. Right. I don't quite understand the stupidity.
He's probably trying to do something.
Are all cops that dumb?
To make it look like he's innocent. I'm just going to go about my everyday
all
because I
cops
didn't do anything wrong.
Anyone
That's
isn't
true.
anything.
It just seems to me that we've lost, there's no stance. The police unions have made them above the law, and they should. And
not all officers belong to their unions.
True.
I have family members that have chosen not to be in their union.
I will say, I will stand up for the good cops. I swear to God, I will. I have no problem with that. But here's the thing. Just by being a police officer, there is a level of good you should be. Mm-hmm. There's a level of integrity you should have. There's a level of, we trust you to make sure we don't get hurt, killed, shot, stolen from.
At the very least, you should follow the law.
There you go.
Because that's what you expect us to do.
Right, but yet they don't. They're above it. They get away with stuff. They kill it. What's the Breonna Taylor? They fired a guy, but it took thousands of us to write in. I called the police station. I was like, "Are you guys serious? Is this?" I called the governor too. Left a message. Are you serious?
He calls a lot of people throughout.
Here's
the
the
week.
thing. I'm praying to God. I know I don't make any difference, but if enough of us do, it makes a difference. And that's why you got to call it out. People, if you see the evil, call it out. And now,
I don't know.
from sea to shining sea.
How do I segue from that?
Continent to continent, and sometimes space. It's Bombshell Ray bringing you the Bombshell News.
An ex-soccer player once claimed he was late to practice because he was abducted by aliens.
I got through 4th grade not turning my homework for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was playing. He showed up late. The coach was upset. He said that he had just been abducted by aliens. He gave us the entire explanation of what he felt and what they did to him.
Oh.
Is that so? How much trouble were
said,
you? How many laps did that coach make you do if you were late for practice?
He said that they take
how
out
hard-
your soul.
They take out your soul.
He was late.
thing.
It took a minute. Analyze it, and all the while on the journey, they are looking at you. That's how an abduction feels. It might also be what it felt like to be married to your ex.
Should have taken my soul. That's
So
for
that
sure.
is.
I didn't get it back though.
That is some
You
concussion
restored
talk.
it. I got
Thank
a new
you.
soul. Wait a minute.
They
so,
outlawed the head
so here's what
ball
bothers me
in
about this.
in soccer, right?
That's okay. So I was late, bro. Sorry. I flat tire. I had a flat tire.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Let me see. What's going to get me out of this? I know. No.
This one always works.
No. My girlfriend got in trouble. I had to bail a friend out of jail. No. Aliens. Aliens got me and then took my soul. This or how many excuses had he gone through to have to use this one now?
His mother had already died. His
Yeah,
grandma
he
had already died
right?
twice.
And he's tired of doing push-ups.
He's
for being late.
tired of. Yeah, what are you getting out of that you have to completely make an ass out of yourself?
I don't get people.
I don't get it either. A deer, as in a doe, a deer, runs into a Black Lives Matter protest in New Jersey, seriously injuring people.
Oh, I was going to say.
So
So see, everybody's in on it
So
now.
racist deer is what that was.
right?
He bolted
had a
into
hood
a
on.
crowd of
Deer-
demonstrators.
Red MAGA hat. Why is that deer got a MAGA hat?
Confederate.
he's got a cape, Confederate cape running out.
It was actually in South Brunswick, not far from where
Wow, really? Wow.
they were there protesting. Yeah, I don't know. The news stories this week are kind of boring.
It's a Charlottesville deer.
Man's bladder explodes after holding in
the
pee.
deer was heard to say, "Jews will not replace us," which seems weird for a deer to care about.
Come on, you don't have a pun? The pun king. I'm waiting for him. Something about deer. He was a real dodo. No.
Wow.
Not bad.
Wow. That's not bad.
It was horrible. What is wrong with both of you?
Maybe the deer was panicked because it was out of bucks.
Hey now.
No, why would a deer need buck? I have a dog on my back.
That's weird.
He liked my joke.
That's a weird sentence.
Man's bladder explodes after holding in pee for 18 hours after a beer binge.
That's not true. Your bladder can explode. It keeps stretching.
40-year-old man fell asleep. They say passed out. He downed 10 bottles of beer during a heavy drinking session. Never went to the bathroom. Completely passed out. During that time, his bladder ruptured. His bladder was torn in 3 places on the CT scan the next morning. At this point, he was in so much pain he was unable to lie flat and couldn't relieve himself after this happened.
Because it was leaking inside his body.
Yes.
Oh my God. Why would he do this now?
He was-
This was a
blackout
challenge
drunk,
or something?
Blackout drunk. By the way, here's the thing. At this point, I would have peed myself.
Doesn't your body just let it go?
Right, at one point, yeah. What's the panic? Or you'd have to have a.
Once you get drunk a little bit, you're peeing yourself.
You'd have to have a urethra problem. Urethra Franklin. You better think. Think, but you gotta go pee. Gotta think. Even if you sleep, let yourself be free. Don't rupture.
New robot explorer dog has been invented by Boston Dynamics. It would only cost you $75,000.
Those things are way creepy.
Yeah,
Have
but
you
is this
seen it?
real though, or is
It's
it
really cool.
Yeah.
By the way, is this?
Really-
Wait,
It's
is
an
it-
autonomous
so-
quadruped.
so
They
someone-
have perfected it. You can go online and watch the videos. His name is Spot.
I've seen the videos. Are they not fake? This is real.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, which is super.
Because you got to watch
creepy.
the videos. Boston Dynamics videos are crazy. They have full on. Skynet is coming,
Oh yeah,
and it's not going to be like Terminator. It's going to be robot dogs that just run us over and kill us. It's a full tall, looks like a human robot like hopping over logs and running and stuff?
A lot of businesses are using them now because they have head-mounted cameras, and they're doing them to document construction progress, monitor hazardous environments such as decommissioned nuclear reactors. They're using them to enforce social distancing in Singapore. You can buy one now. Spot is now available. It's the first of their robots to actually be available for public sale.
Anti-protest deers.
Are you talking about...
Maybe that was it.
You're talking about Atlas. That's the humanoid robot that can run, jump over obstacles and all that Elon Musk tweeted about. This is Spot. He's actually a dog. He's a quadruped.
No, I've seen the dog. He can go up hills and stuff, and they actually pushed him over. One guy went up and kicked it, and the dog balanced it. Like it didn't. The guy tried to kick it over. Yeah. It also opened doors.
Does it lick you? And you like?
It does not. It shocks you. It's got a thing. And it pepper sprays you.
I wonder if we could get one to babysit.
I mean,
out nuts and
for
bolts.
Security though, if you had a big company, instead of paying security guys, you figure, what do you pay a security guy? You're $35,000. So you just have the dog roaming all night. It has an alarm out of it. Sees something that shouldn't be there. It sets off the alarm. I mean, not that I want to kill employment in America at all, but I think just having a robot dog would be cool.
It's already happening.
All right, an emotional support robot dog.
Already over. So many things.
Is that
I'm mad.
Got to put a vest on it. It's okay. Things will be better. Relax.
Should I take care of this traffic for you?
I will curl up in your lap. My laser will kill anyone who comes after you. Hold on.
What Spot?
I would be calm, very calm, if that was my...
The oldest dog alive just celebrated his 20th birthday. It's a golden retriever. Nice. They only have a life expectancy of 10 to 12 years. His name is Augie. He's still going strong. They're saying that she may be the first golden retriever to reach the age of 20.
She's in her golden years.
She's so sweet.
Wow, there you go. Oh, there you go. Very nice.
There he goes. He came around. I was like, what the hell happened?
Boom.
Stumped by the deer thing, though. Completely thrown.
He tried.
They were too obvious. I'm like,
that's going to be...
Completely
thrown.
So
Look
I threw
at
it.
her. Look, she's an older lady.
Aww.
I would take her. I want more. Let's get more dogs.
Okay. Because they're so easy to travel with, we have to do that when this is all over.
All you have to do is turn on Luther for them, and it babysits them for hours.
Can we talk about dog TV, please? Can you? So the lovely Rachel.
I don't know why you have to be so vehement
has
about it.
ordered dog TV for the dogs. So I'm like laughing, and again, it's such a California weenie. Like it's one of those things that like everybody would mock us for.
This is
just
fake
all
news.
Idris
Now,
all the time.
This is fake news, first of all. Dog TV this whole week. It ends
free.
this Sunday. I didn't order it. It's free, and they're advertising it on the home screen on DirecTV. So I kept thinking, okay, when that starts, I remembered the date and the channel. We're going to see what Dog TV is about. So I'm not ordering it. It's free. And...
It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. So they put videos of these dogs up playing ball with this little kid. Our dogs... Chaplin doesn't care because Chaplin thinks he's a human. But Groucho stands in the bed. He's barking. He's like, "Oh, there's a ball. What are we doing?"
Right.
And it's the most fun. And then so they go through different. They have stimulation. They go through that. Then they go through relaxation.
Yep. Nighttime is when it's bedtime.
And do not. If you're a human being watching this while your dog is watching it, do not take any psychedelic drugs.
Or do.
But you will be if you don't want a bad trip, don't do it because
it's the nighttime one. Just go check it out. It's 562. It's if you've ever done acid, you will recognize these pictures. It is wow, and it puts Groucho to sleep. He watches for a while and his eyes get heavy. He sits and watches it. And he the other day watched Dog TV for 7 hours straight. He doesn't kind of see it, get interested, and run away. He watches it all day long.
Binge watching. You gotta watch out for the...
He's binge watching. Yeah, exactly.
He would watch Trump before because I think Trump is orange and looks like a cartoon character and he moves and, Right. But I have a picture of him in the recliner watching Trump. But now Dog TV is the thing that's happening in our household.
I have video of the dog watching television. It's the weirdest thing. I've never seen a dog watch television. I would like, if anybody knows about how dogs see weed, send me an email, Christopher Titus. I go to Titus CWI. I go to the website. It's on the contact page. Also, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Fortune Feemster this Saturday night, because we have to get to work. We have stuff to fix. Fortune Feemster this Saturday night, 6 p.m. Pacific. And just to clear up, guys, if it's 6 o'clock here on the West Coast, that means it's 9 o'clock on the East Coast. So when you send us an email that says, hey, I'm on the East Coast, is it going to be 6 p.m. On the East Coast? No. It'll be at the same time it's airing here, there, but the time is different. I know I've just confused you, and I apologize.
It's live.
Yeah, it's live. So it'll be 9 o'clock on the East Coast, 6 o'clock on the West Coast, and you middle states, the flyover states, just figure it out.
You don't have to print out your ticket.
Nope.
For the show.
Nope.
You don't have to present it anywhere.
You should have decent Wi-Fi, though, if you're going to watch a live
You're
stream.
going to need decent Wi-Fi, yep. Please don't get the Eventbrite app. That's just a ticketing platform. It has nothing to do with watching the show. I had another person yesterday say they've got the app and they're ready to... No. It's going to be on YouTube.
You'll be getting a mass email. We'll be sending you a mass email. Everybody who ordered tickets, you'll be getting an email on Saturday afternoon before the show.
Yep.
You'll be able to go to that email. Basically, you'll be watching it on Christopher Titus TV, Combustion Live TV. You'll be able to put it in, and you'll be seeing Fortune Feemster live. Wheel of Fortune's birthday. I'm excited.
It's going to be a party.
Her and I talked on the phone, and she was just telling me what she wanted to do with her friends coming in. I just thought this is going to be it's a live variety show. Fortune's got a lot of training in improv. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Me too.
But we have to get our equipment together. So, guys, thanks for watching the Titus Podcast. Thanks for listening to Titus Podcast. Please subscribe to the channel, Christopher Titus TV. Also, go to ChristopherTitus.com if you want any DVDs. Coming out soon, Rachel's special. Rachel,
Yeah.
right here, Rachel special, right here.
Nobody will have any idea.
No one knows what I'm talking about.
Perfect.
Anything you want to talk about?
Nope.
You got any updates?
Nope.
Hi, we ended this the worst possible way we could. For myself, the lovely Bombshell, and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
There can be only one,
There
but
can-
might be two, so hurry up.
There might be
So hurry up. He's
So
still
hurry up. There might be
accepting
two.
applications.
No, he's not.
Liar. You're just such a liar.
He
Both
needs
liars.
someone to compare and contrast.
Liar.